The small alien research station floated in the dark edge of the galaxy like a lonely candle in a cold night. It was old, quiet, and far from any real help. Only 20 scientists lived inside, and most of them believed nothing dangerous would ever reach this forgotten place. They spent their days studying space dust and weak signals from distant stars. But on this day the silence broke. The first alarm was soft, a small beep that most crew members ignored. But the second alarm was loud. Red lights flashed across the station, and warning symbols appeared on every screen. Dr. Kalin, the station leader, rushed to the window and froze. Out in the darkness, 3 unknown ships appeared. They were long, black, and shaped like weapons. They had no lights, no signals, no friendly colors. They were silent predators. Captain Mora, the security officer, felt her heart go cold. "These ships, they are not from any known empire," she whispered. "The research station had no weapons. It was never built for war. If these ships attacked, the station would break apart in minutes. Send a call for help." Kalin shouted. "Send it now." The communication officer, a young alien named Rilex, quickly sat at his station. His hands shook. He searched the list of nearby friendly species, but the station was so far from every major empire that finding help was difficult. He panicked. He pressed the wrong coordinate. He sent the call for help to a blue and white planet many light years away. A planet he barely knew. A planet the galaxy often ignored. A planet called Earth. When the rest of the crew realized what he had done, they looked at him with shocked faces. "You called humans?" Mora asked in disbelief. "It was a mistake," Rilex said, almost crying. "I pressed the wrong button." The crew sighed. Everyone in the galaxy knew humans were peaceful traders. They were slow to act and rarely involved in conflicts. Even if they received the message, they would not arrive in time. Some of the crew even laughed nervously. Dr. Kalin tried to calm everyone. "Relax. Humans cannot reach us quickly. We will be fine." But his voice was not steady. He kept looking at the dark ships outside. They were moving slowly around the station, watching like predators waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Hours passed. The unknown ships did nothing, but their presence felt like a knife at the station's throat. Crew members whispered, moved quietly, and checked the windows again and again. Then something changed. The long-range sensors picked up something massive. A deep tone echoed through the station, a sound they had never heard before. It was the sound of a hyperspace rift opening. The air seemed to vibrate. The lights flickered. The unknown ships outside suddenly pulled away as if sensing danger. "What is happening?" Mora shouted. Rilex looked at his screen and his jaw dropped. Multiple warp signatures, hundreds, no, thousands. Dr. Kalin stared at him. "What kind of fleet is that?" Rilex swallowed hard. "The signal code identifies them as Terran ships." The station went silent. Humans? Humans could not travel this fast. Humans did not have this kind of fleet. But the sensors did not lie. Outside the window, the stars bent and twisted. One by one, gigantic ships emerged from the warp. First came destroyers, sharp, fast warships with glowing engines. Then came cruisers, thick, armored giants that blocked entire sections of space. And behind them, a shadow darker than the darkness around it. A ship larger than the entire research station. A Titan-class human dreadnought. The aliens stared in complete terror. This was no rescue force. This was a war fleet. Rilex whispered, "I only sent a small request for help." Why did they send all this? The humans did not move aggressively, but their presence alone filled space with power. Their engines hummed like deep thunder. Their weapons glowed faint blue. Their formation was perfect, silent and deadly. The unknown enemy ships turned away and disappeared into the darkness as quickly as they had arrived. Even they were afraid of this human fleet. Then the communication screen lit up. A human face appeared, calm, serious, and carrying the authority of 1,000 battles. "This is Admiral Elias Ward of Terran Fleet Command," the human said. "We received your distress call. Identify yourselves." Dr. Kalin stepped forward, shaking. We are a research station. We sent the call by mistake." Admiral Ward raised an eyebrow. "Mistake?" "Yes," Kalin said. "We didn't expect this." The Admiral leaned back. His voice stayed cold and steady. "When you call humanity for aid," he said, "we answer with full force until the threat is gone." The crew felt chills. This was not the humanity they imagined. Then the Admiral continued. "We detected hostile signatures near your station. Our fleet will hold this position until the area is safe." "Hold," Mora whispered. This is an invasion fleet. But the humans did not fire. They simply formed a protective wall around the small station, creating a shield so strong no enemy would dare approach. Outside, the human dreadnought slowly rotated, its huge cannons tracking the empty darkness like watchful eyes. The aliens realized something important. Humans were peaceful, yes, but they protected peace with unimaginable power. Rilex whispered, "We called them by mistake, but now I see why the galaxy fears them." Part 1 ends as the Admiral speaks again. Stay calm. You are under Terran protection now. The screen went black, but the aliens could still feel the weight of the human fleet surrounding them. The simple call for aid had brought an entire human armada. And nothing in the galaxy would be the same again. The research station was quiet, too quiet. After the human admiral ended the call, every alien on the station stood frozen, staring at the massive Terran fleet outside their windows. It felt unreal, like a dream mixed with a nightmare. No one had expected humans to appear so fast, or with so much force. Dr. Kalen placed his hand on the glass window. 20 huge human ships drifted in perfect formation, their engines glowing like small suns. The Titan-class dreadnought blocked half the stars. Its metal body looked like a floating city of war. Humans were never this powerful, were they? Kalen whispered. Captain Mora slowly shook her head. If they were, the galaxy hid it well. The crew moved carefully, as if afraid even their footsteps might anger the human fleet outside. Some aliens stayed near the windows, unable to look away. Others stayed near the communication room, waiting for more instructions. Rilex, the young communication officer who triggered this entire event by mistake, sat on the floor holding his head. "I sent one small message, one simple call," he said softly. "And they sent an entire armada." Mora placed a hand on his shoulder. "They're not angry. They came to protect us." "But why?" Rilex asked. No one had an answer. Inside the human fleet, things were not silent. Thousands of human officers worked quickly, scanning the region, preparing weapon systems, and tracking every movement in the surrounding space. Admiral Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the dreadnought TFS Valiant. His gaze was cold, but his mind was sharp. He studied the enemy signatures that had fled seconds before the fleet arrived. "Those ships were scouting," he said to his tactical officer. "They were checking the station's weakness. They are testing us." "Do you think they will return, sir?" the officer asked. Admiral Ward's voice was deep and calm. "They always return." He turned to a younger officer. "Send a message to the alien station. Ask for full access to their sensor logs." The officer nodded and began typing. Ward then walked toward the large viewing window. Below him, the smaller Terran ships formed a protective circle around the alien station. Humanity was often quiet. Humans avoided war. But when they made a move with overwhelming power. Admiral Ward believed in one rule. When someone asks for help, humans respond completely. Whether the call was big or small, did not matter. Back on the research station, the communication screen blinked again. Rilex jumped as if something exploded. It's the human fleet again," he almost whispered. Dr. Kalen took a deep breath. "Put it through." The human officer appeared. His uniform was dark blue with the Terran fleet symbol glowing on his shoulder. "This is Commander Hale," the officer said. "By order of Admiral Ward, we request access to your sensor logs for the last 12 hours. Kalen nodded quickly. "Of course. Anything you need." While the aliens transferred the data, Commander Hale continued speaking. "Our fleet detected traces of an enemy faction known as the Draxian Hunters," Hale said. "They attack stations that can't defend themselves. They prefer taking prisoners." The aliens froze. That name, the Draxians, was known across the galaxy as merciless, cruel, and impossible to negotiate with. Mora felt her chest tighten. So they were not just passing by. Commander Hale nodded. No. They were preparing to strike. Silence filled the room. Humans had arrived not only fast, but at the exact last moment before disaster. After the data transfer, the humans analyzed everything in minutes. Their computers were powerful, fast, and built for war. On the TFS Valiant, Admiral Ward studied the results. "They were planning to return with a full attack force," the Admiral said quietly. "If we had arrived 20 minutes later, the station would be gone." He turned to his officers. "Prepare all ships for potential enemy contact. Full readiness." The order moved through the fleet like electricity. Engines shifted. Weapons came online. Shields strengthened. The space around the alien station suddenly felt different, like a fortress rising from the darkness. Inside the research station, Mora noticed the sudden change. "Look outside," she whispered. The aliens rushed to the windows. The human ships were now glowing brighter. Their weapon ports were open. Their formations tighter. It looked like a silent steel wall. Rilek swallowed hard. They are going to fight for us?" Dr. Kalen sighed. "They are not just protecting us. They are creating a trap." Mora blinked. "A trap?" "Yes," Kalen said. "The humans expect the enemy to return. And when they do, this fleet will be ready." Moments later, the human communication channel activated again. Admiral Ward himself appeared. "This is Admiral Ward," he said. His voice was calm but strong enough to fill the entire room. "We are staying until the threat is gone." Kalen nodded. "Thank you, Admiral. Our people owe you." Ward raised a hand. "You owe us nothing. Humanity does not ignore a call for help." Kalen hesitated. "Even an accidental one?" "Especially an accidental one," Ward said. The screen went dark. The aliens stood silently, absorbing his words. They had always believed humans were slow, quiet, weak, and soft-spoken. But now they saw the truth. Humans were peaceful. But their peace was built on a terrifying strength. A strength the galaxy had greatly underestimated. And the enemy that once circled the station was coming back. The aliens could feel it. And the humans were waiting. The alien station felt like it was holding its breath. Every hallway was quiet, every screen glowing softly, every crew member whispering as if loud voices might disturb the giant human fleet outside. Even the air felt heavier, filled with fear and strange comfort. Dr. Kalen walked slowly toward the observation deck. The enormous Terran dreadnought, TFS Valiant, drifted outside like a metal giant watching over them. It did not move much, but its presence was enough to keep every crew member frozen in awe. Captain Mora joined him. Her eyes never left the glowing human ships. "They came for us, but we did not deserve this," she said softly. Kalen nodded. "I think humans have a reason. Something happened in their past." Rilex, the young officer, stood behind them silently. He looked worried, guilty, and scared all at once. Then the communication console beeped again. Mora stiffened. Another message from the human fleet. Kalen exhaled slowly. "Put it through." The screen opened, this time showing not an officer but Admiral Elias Ward himself. Behind him, the bridge of the Terran dreadnought shone with blue lights and quiet activity. Humans moved with sharp precision, like they were trained for danger every second of their lives. Admiral Ward looked calm, but his eyes carried a weight, a story. Dr. Kalen bowed slightly. "Admiral, we thank you again." Ward interrupted gently. "You want to understand why we came with such force." The aliens looked at each other. He was right. They wanted to know. Ward continued. "Decades ago, humanity sent a small colony ship into deep space. Peaceful. Unarmed. Carrying scientists, families, children. People who only wanted to explore." His voice became lower. "They were found by a warlike species. The colony sent a distress call. A simple call. But no one answered. Not in time." Kalen felt a chill. Mora's hands tightened. "What happened to them?" Mora asked. Ward's eyes darkened. "They were taken. All of them. The ship was destroyed. Our people vanished." Rilek swallowed. "Humans were alone?" "Yes," Ward said. "At that time we were not part of any alliance. We had no powerful friends. No fast fleets. No military strength." He looked out the window at his own dreadnought before continuing. "That day changed us. Humanity swore we would never let a distress call go unanswered again. Never." The station went silent. Ward's voice was steady but carried deep emotion. "When someone calls for help, big or small, accident or not, we respond. We respond fully. We do not risk another tragedy." Mora finally understood. This fleet, this power, it is not just strength. It is a promise. Ward nodded. "A promise written in the blood of our lost." For the first time, the aliens saw something deeper in humanity, pain, memory, and determination stronger than weapons. Humans were dangerous not because they liked war, but because they refused to let anyone suffer as they once did. Kalen bowed his head. "Admiral, we are sorry. We did not know." Ward softened just a little. "You were not meant to know. But you asked for help and we answered." Then his tone changed, sharper. "And now, the threat that targeted your station is returning." The alien stiffened. Mora asked, "You detected them?" Ward nodded. "Yes. The Draxian ships are regrouping. They will attack soon in greater numbers." Rilex trembled. But our station has no defenses. You have us, Ward said. And humanity does not run from danger. Minutes later, inside the Terran flagship, the bridge grew intense. Admiral Ward studied new sensor readings. Multiple enemy contacts incoming, the tactical officer said. Estimated, 15 attack ships, possibly more. Ward remained calm. And their target? Direct course toward the alien station. Ward's eyes narrowed. Of course. He turned to his fleet. All ships raise shields. Weapon systems on full power. Prepare interception pattern Omega. The human fleet moved instantly. Cruisers slid into position. Destroyers spread out like sharp wings. The Titan dreadnought shifted forward, its engines burning bright. The aliens watching from their windows were speechless. Rilex whispered, "They move like one mind." Mora nodded. "This is not a fleet, this is a force of nature." Then something unexpected happened. A smaller human ship detached from the main formation and moved toward the station. A communication request appeared. Kalen quickly accepted. A young human officer appeared, Commander Hale. "Station crew," he said calmly, "the Admiral wants you evacuated to a safe zone inside the Valiant." "Evacuated?" Mora asked. "Why?" Hale answered bluntly. "Because humans fight at full power. This battlefield will not be gentle." Rilex stepped back. We are not soldiers." Hale gave a small smile. "You don't need to be. You called for help. That is enough." Kalen exhaled. "We will prepare immediately." "Good," Hale said. "Our transport ship is docking in 3 minutes." The screen shut off. For a moment no one moved. Then Kalen spoke with a determined voice. "Everyone get ready. We are going to the human dreadnought." As the crew hurried to pack essentials, Mora looked out once more at the Terran fleet forming its deadly wall of protection. "These humans," she whispered, "they are not what the galaxy thinks." Rilex agreed softly. "No. They are far more." Outside, space trembled as the first enemy signals appeared. The Draxian hunters were returning. And the humans were waiting, silent, calm, and ready to show the galaxy why no call for help should ever be ignored. The small alien station trembled as the human transport ship docked with it. Metal arms locked into place, releasing soft hissing sounds. The corridor lights turned blue, signaling safe boarding. Dr. Kalen and his crew hurried forward, carrying only basic equipment. They moved fast, but their hands shook. Every few seconds they glanced at the windows. Because outside, the Draxian ships were coming. Dark shapes appeared on the station's long-range screen, 15, then 20, then 26. Each Draxian ship looked like a spiked shadow, as if built for pain. Their engines burned with red fire, leaving trails that looked almost alive. Rilex whispered, "They are double the number from before." Mora clenched her fists. "And they came knowing humans are here. They are not afraid." But Kalen shook his head slowly. "No, they are simply predators. And predators only learn fear when someone stronger appears." The station lights flickered as the docking clamps finished. The human transport ship opened its doors. 2 Terran Marines in black armor stepped forward. Their armor had no decoration, only a glowing white symbol. TFC, Terran Fleet Command. Their faces were calm, focused, almost too calm for what was happening outside. One Marine raised a hand. "Welcome. Please board quickly. The battle will begin soon." The aliens hurried across the docking passage, stepping into the human ship. Inside, they saw a clean metallic corridor, bright white lights, and humans moving with perfect discipline. It felt safe, strong, organized. It felt like stepping inside a fortress. As the doors closed behind them, a vibration rolled through the hull. Rilex gasped. "Was that?" "Yes," the Marine said. "Enemy warp signatures." The Draxians had arrived. Far outside, space rippled like water. One by one, Draxian attack ships tore through reality, appearing with aggressive speed. Their hulls were sharp, black, and covered in living armor. Their engines screamed like beasts. But they did not stop to observe humanity. They came straight for the alien research station. Or at least, that was their plan. Before they got close, something moved. The Terran fleet shifted formation, blocking the entire path. Destroyers slid forward like sharp blades. Cruisers formed thick walls of steel. The Titan-class dreadnought TFS Valiant positioned itself directly in the center, its massive body glowing with energy. The Draxian ships faltered. And then the Terran admiral spoke. A human signal broadcast across open space. "This is Admiral Elias Ward of the Terran fleet. Turn around. Now." The Draxians responded with laughter like static. Then their ships aimed all weapons forward. The battle began instantly. From the human transport ship, the aliens watched through the internal viewing screens. They saw the human fleet move with incredible speed. Terran destroyers fired first, thin beams of blue energy slicing across space. Half of the beams hit Draxian shields, making them glow in bright sparks. The other half cut deep into enemy hulls, leaving burning metal behind. Then the Draxians fired back. Red plasma roared from enemy cannons, striking human shields. The Terran ships absorbed the hits, their barriers shimmering like liquid glass. The aliens watched with wide eyes. Mora whispered, "If those plasma blasts hit our station, we would be gone." Rilex nodded slowly. "Humans, their shields are so strong." But the battle was not one-sided. 3 Draxian ships broke formation and rushed forward, attempting to flank the humans. Humans reacted instantly. 2 Terran frigates moved like arrows, blocking the path. A Draxian torpedo hit the first frigate, shaking it violently. One engine flickered out. But the ship kept moving, still holding the line. The aliens gasped. They are risking themselves for us," Kalen said quietly. Inside the TFS Valiant, Admiral Ward stood as calm as a mountain. Tactical screens hovered around him, showing enemy movements. "Draxian formation is shifting," Commander Hale said. "They are trying to target our left flank." Ward's eyes narrowed. "Counter with Squadron 5. Push them back." "Yes, sir." The Valiant's weapon systems activated. Massive cannons rotated. Energy collectors glowed bright white. Power surged through the dreadnought. "Fire main battery," Ward commanded. A single beam shot out, silent, bright, and terrifying. It struck a Draxian warship straight through the center. The ship cracked in half. The explosion lit up the darkness like a small sun. Even the aliens watching gasped at the sheer power. "That was from one shot?" Rilex whispered. Mora's voice trembled. "Humans have weapons the galaxy has never seen." But the Draxians were not done. They swarmed like angry animals, firing wildly, trying to break through the Terran wall. Their red plasma blasts filled space with burning light. Human ships shook. Shields flickered. Engines roared as they repositioned. Then something unexpected happened. A Draxian cruiser locked onto the human transport ship carrying the aliens. A direct hit would kill everyone inside. Mora shouted, "They are targeting us." Dr. Kalen panicked. "What? We are no threat." But the reason was simple. Predators strike the weak first. The Draxian ship fired. A huge wave of red plasma shot through space, straight toward the human transport ship. Rilex screamed. Kalen grabbed a handrail. Mora pushed 2 researchers down. But before the plasma reached them, a human destroyer moved. It threw itself into the path. The plasma slammed into its hull. The blast tore through its shields. Metal ripped apart. The entire ship shook violently as alarms rang. But the destroyer held. It saved the transport ship. It saved the aliens. Mora stared in total shock. "They sacrificed their ship for us." Commander Hale's voice crackled through the speakers. "Transport ship, remain calm. We protect all evacuees." Kalen whispered, "Humans do not just promise safety. They give it, even at high cost." Outside, the human destroyer, now damaged and burning, still turned its remaining cannons and fired back at the Draxians with furious strength. The aliens watched in awe. This was not politics. This was not diplomacy. This was humanity, standing between danger and the innocent. And the Draxians were starting to realize they had made a terrible mistake. The Valiant's lights shifted to deep red. Inside, Admiral Ward gave the next order. "Activate Judgment Protocol." The officers froze for a moment. Then they nodded. The dreadnought's core hummed louder. Its weapons glowed like a rising star. The final phase of battle was about to begin. The room became quiet after Admiral Reyes finished speaking. His words were not loud, but they carried a weight that everyone felt. Even Commander Rylos, who had tried to stay calm, could feel his throat dry. It was clear now, humans had not come as simple helpers. They had come prepared for something much bigger. Reyes stepped closer to the hollow table. A soft blue light appeared around his hand as he activated another projection. This one showed a darker picture. Unknown signals moving behind Kelnari territory, traveling slowly but with purpose. "These," he said, pointing to them, "are the signals that worry us. And they should worry you too." The Kelnari officers leaned closer. The signals were odd, like shadows with no clear shape. Commander Rylos swallowed. We have never seen this pattern. They do not match any known fleets." Reyes nodded. Exactly. And 3 days before your call for aid, we detected these same shadows moving near human trade routes. They did not attack. They only watched. The room filled with the sound of nervous breathing. No one dared to speak. Then Commander Rylos whispered, "So, you think someone else is here?" Reyes turned his head, his voice lowering. "I don't think. I know." The air suddenly felt colder. A strange warning. Ambassador Lin placed her hands on the table. She looked calmer than the rest, though her eyes showed a seriousness that was hard to ignore. "Commander Rylos," she said softly, "before we send our fleet into your space, we need to understand everything. Tell us again, what exactly happened on your colony?" Rylos opened his mouth, closed it, then tried again. It was supposed to be a normal day. People working. Children playing. But then our entire long-range communication network went silent. We sent a scout team to check, but... He shook his head. They never returned. One of the Kelnari officers added, "We sent drones. They vanished. No wreckage. No damage. Just gone." Reyes exchanged a brief look with Ambassador Lin. "That is the problem," Reyes said. "No attack. No trace. No message. Whoever did this did not want to fight. They wanted silence." A deep tension filled the chamber. Everyone understood the meaning. Silence could be more frightening than destruction. Because silence meant planning. Humans were already watching. Reyes zoomed the holomap again. Now the Kelnari officers saw a much larger net of signals and sensors, many of them human-built. They were placed far beyond what anyone expected. Commander Rylos blinked. "You were tracking our borders?" Reyes gave a slow nod. "For safety. Not because we expected danger from your people, but because we expected danger for your people." Ambassador Lin added, "The galaxy is getting unstable. Something is moving in the dark. Something old. Something patient. We believe your colony was not the target. It was a test." The Kelnari officers looked terrified. Rylos whispered, "A test for what?" Reyes answered in a flat voice. "To see how fast humanity reacts." And that answer made everyone freeze. Because if humans arrived with a giant fleet only hours after the distress call, it meant the attackers now knew exactly how fast humanity could move. And they might not like that. The fleet prepares. Outside the station windows, the human fleet moved slowly into new formation. Like giants waking from sleep, the dreadnoughts shifted position. Battleships aligned their weapons. Escort ships formed tight shields around the command vessel. The Kelnari officers watched in awe. Rylos whispered, "Your ships, they do not look like peace ships." Reyes finally smiled, but it was not a warm smile. It was a smile you give before a storm. "We responded to your call for aid," he said. "Now we are preparing for whatever comes next." The tension rose even higher when the holoscreen displayed a new alert. A soft alarm played, a warning tone. Rylos straightened. "What is happening?" Reyes narrowed his eyes at the screen. "A distortion. Outside your system. Something is entering real space." The room filled with panic. Rylos's voice shook. "Is it the same unknown shadow?" Reyes replied, calm and sharp, "We don't know yet. But my fleet is already changing formation." He tapped a command on his wrist device. The holotable showed dozens of human ships shifting positions instantly, like one mind controlling all. The Kelnari stared in disbelief. "How do your ships react so fast?" one officer asked. Reyes answered, "Because they were built for moments exactly like this." The distortion grows. The distortion outside the system continued to expand. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow, steady, and much too powerful. The room's lights dimmed for a second, as if something massive had brushed against the station. Rylos's voice dropped to a whisper. This is not technology we know." Reyes frowned. "I wish I could say the same." Ambassador Lin turned toward the Kelnari. Her voice was gentle, but her words were chilling. "You called for aid. And we came to help. But now you must prepare for the truth." Rylos felt cold. "What truth?" Lin took a deep breath. "The thing entering your system is something even humanity fears." The chamber fell into complete silence. Even the hum of machines felt quieter. And then, the first signal arrived. A small light flashed on the holoscreen. A message. But not from humans. Not from the Kelnari. It was a message in a language no one understood. Sharp, broken, ancient. The room froze. Reyes whispered, "They are talking to us." Rylos whispered back, "Or warning us." Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. And then the signal repeated, this time louder. Reyes clenched his jaw. Prepare your people, Commander. Whatever took your colony. He looked at the growing distortion outside. Has finally come back. The strange message continued to echo around the chamber. Each sound was sharp, metallic, and filled with a kind of cold intelligence. It was not a greeting. It was not a threat. It was something worse, an announcement. Admiral Reyes listened carefully, his eyes fixed on the pulsing distortion outside the Kelnari system. Ambassador Lin tried to analyze the sound pattern on her device, but even the human system showed confusion. Commander Rilo stepped back, his chest rising and falling quickly. This is not a language we have ever heard. Reyes nodded slowly. We have heard it before. Only once. The room went silent. Rilo stared at him. When? Where? Reyes did not answer immediately. Instead, he tapped his wrist device and opened a secure human archive. A red lock symbol appeared. Only a few people in the galaxy had access to such files. When the file opened, the room filled with a low, eerie hum. Ambassador Lin spoke softly. This is a recording from the edge of human space. A research vessel vanished there 7 years ago. The Kelnari officers looked terrified. Rylos whispered, Vanished? Like our colony? Reyes nodded. Exactly like your colony. The lost recording. The hollow table lit up and displayed the final moments of the human research vessel. The video was shaky, filled with static. The ship's corridors were dark. Lights flickered as panicked voices shouted in the background. Then came the same sound. Sure. Metallic. Rylos felt his skin crawl. It's the same noise. But the recording was not finished. A voice from the human crew screamed, They're not attacking. They're taking. The audio cut out. A flash of white light filled the screen. Then nothing. Silence. Ambassador Lin turned off the recording. For several seconds no one spoke. Commander Rylos felt a deep and heavy fear settle in his chest. Why did you never share this with the galaxy? Reyes looked at him with unreadable eyes. Because we were not sure what we were dealing with. And because we hoped they would never return. He glanced at the distortion outside. We were wrong. The distortion opens. A sudden alarm echoed through the station. Everyone turned toward the window. The distortion had begun to tear open. Not like a normal warp gate. Not like a natural space anomaly. It opened like a wound, slow, unnatural, and filled with a dark, swirling light. The Kelnari officer stepped back instinctively. Even the air seemed to change, growing colder and heavier. Reyes tightened his jaw. Human fleet, defensive posture. No firing unless I command. Outside, the massive dreadnoughts shifted. Their armor plates glowed faintly. The escort ships formed a moving shield wall. Commander Rylos couldn't look away. Your fleet is acting like they already knew this was coming. Reyes replied without emotion. We prepared for a day we hoped would never arrive. Something emerges. The swirling light inside the distortion grew brighter. Then a shape slowly appeared. Not a ship. Not a creature. Something in between. It was dark and smooth with no visible engines or windows. Its surface looked like liquid metal. Long, thin structures moved around it, like mechanical tendrils searching for something to touch. Rilo shivered. That is not built by any known race. Ambassador Lin whispered, We call them the Still Ones. The Kelnari officers looked confused. The Still Ones? Why that name? Rez answered, his voice low. Because they make everything around them silent. A sudden communication. The creature ship emitted another message, this time clearer. A long drawn-out tone. Then a series of clicks. Ambassador Lin frowned. They are sending coordinates. Rilo stepped forward. Coordinates? Where? Reyes expanded the projection. The coordinates pointed to the missing Kelnari colony. The room froze. Rylos whispered, They want us to go there? Reyes stared at the moving shape outside. No. They want us to follow them. The creature ship began to move slowly, gliding toward deep space, toward the direction of the lost colony. And then something terrifying happened. Dozens more distortions began to open behind it. Small ones. Medium ones. Some large. Rylos's heart pounded. More of them are coming? Ambassador Lin's voice remained steady, but her eyes showed the fear. They are not just returning. They are preparing. Outside, the human fleet tightened formation again. Shields activated. Engines flared. Weapons charged but waited. Reyes turned to the Kelnari commander. Commander Rylos, he said quietly, this is no longer just your problem. Rylos swallowed hard. So what do we do now? Reyes faced the window, watching the void tear open even wider. "We follow them," he said. "And we find out what happened to your colony." A final warning. Just as the creature ships drifted into the darkness, the original one sent one last signal. It was short, but everyone felt it. A single tone that resonated deep in the chest. A tone that felt like a warning. Or an invitation. Reyes's eyes narrowed. "They want us to see something." The room vibrated softly as human engines powered up. The Kelnari watched in awe. The human fleet, huge, silent, and terrifying, began to turn toward the dark space beyond the system. The creature ships drifted ahead, waiting. The unspoken truth hung heavy in the air. Whatever happened to the Kelnari colony, humans were about to face it next.